Hello everybody. So today's video is the end of the month, and so we're going to be covering a little bit more than a typical video. I'm going to go over how the month went, how much I'm managing, some community questions, and I only have about 25 minutes to do it because I'm teaching a lesson here in about 25 minutes, so I got to be quick. Alright, so this is what you're looking at right now is the small MaverickFX account, the $542 account. No open trades currently. And this is what the account looks like. 82% profit. Well, almost 83. So 83% profit. Very steady balance increase. And you can see the profit that I had before I withdrew a big portion of my account. The highest it was 38,000. I withdrew most of it and put it into MaverickFX, which I'll talk about more in a second. Alright, so right now I have a closed basket is equaling out to be about 0.92%. And that's because my balance is $542. I mentioned before that my recommended balance for 100 to 1 at least leveraged account is $1,000. So I'm still risking this account by double to my standard Oanda accounts. So that's why you see a profitable trade at 0.92%. Once this account reaches $1,000, or if I make another small deposit, then I should be receiving profits in the 0.5% area, which it will typically stay at that risk level or profit per trade level. And so this week 1.9%, this month 23.83%, and this month is the 23.83 will gradually decrease as my account continues to grow until it will cap out at the 7 to probably 12% profit per month area. And the reason why is because I don't plan on changing this risk much, or at all, until I get about $2,000 into the account. So that's the MaverickFX account. Things are going very well there. This is my buddy Jared. You can see that he's been going since July 10th is when he started this account. I think I started trading it on the 14th. And you can see that even with mid-month, it was only I still came out with a profit of 2.65%. In this month, 2.71. So good month for this account, even with his small loss that he had of about 0.5% that he made himself. And so far, still he hasn't traded very much, and he has allowed me to kind of advise this account. So the next month, I'm expecting probably a little bit more profit, at least about the same. And the most important thing to take from this account is the 1.87% drawdown. So the drawdown is very low considering how much profit that we've had on this account so far. Alright, the main account, which is the $127,654 account, is now just about at 18% with a drawdown, very low drawdown of 3.39%. You can see that I took over this account in April of 2017, so I've been advising this account now for 5 months, and the week profit, or today's profit, is 0.25%, 0.25%, with this week being 0.5%, and the month being just over 3%. My minimum, I usually will say that this system at this risk level will give anywhere from 3 to 5% profit, and so I kind of just did that this past 2 months, where I had just over 5% last month, almost 6, and then this month being a quieter month, which is typical for the month of August, at 3%. So I'm very happy that even for a quiet month, where a lot of the institutions are out on holiday, I still was able to achieve 3%. Alright, so let's go into the charts now. Here you see the closed basket from last night when I was sleeping. So this closed out through my VPS and Expert Advisor combination. closed out right here for a nice about 50 pip profit. And these three trades weren't heavy drawdown at all on this account, and it was actually a pretty good entry. I believe that a few others on my thread actually took this position too. I believe that there was at least 2 other people that I know of that took the same position with me, and they also had 3 positions that were entered and a closed profit around the same time. So when I saw this happening here, the price did show that there was potential for a pullback after such a big, huge push on the upside. So this price slowing eventually was, I guess, inevitable. And the inside candle was not really strong. And I'm sure that, Steve, I'm sure you saw that as well. And I think there's the other person, I can't quite remember his name, but they also took this candle, which is not the strongest inside candle that I've ever seen. I like to see more of a body on the candle. It shows that price is ready to, or has a lot more potential to go on a downside. When you see this candle, yes, it's still a valid entry point, showing that price is slowing, but it's maybe more on the weaker side. So this, it did push back up. We did have a second entry. It went back down. Just not enough profit there to close out. It was only about 30 pips there and about 10. So I was about 10 pips short on those two trades. So it kind of lingered for a while and then shot up again, entered on a third position, and this is where it decided just to fall. It was right around the half number at 63.5, and then it came back down at that point in a pretty big way right here. I know Steve took a trade right in here with the trend, expecting this to continue up. I do think that there is a possibility for this to continue down a bit more. So I'm hoping that he's okay. He took his entry right after this bullish engulfing candle here. Maybe not the most ideal situation for an entry, but it could easily hold here and continue up. There's a couple of hints, and the reason why I say that it's not just this one inside bullish candle or engulfing candle. This one also kind of shows a potential for a bounce in this area. Still, I'm not convinced quite yet that this push on the downside is quite done yet. I just have to wait and see. Alright, so I also had I didn't have any trades on the Euro Pound here on this account, but I did have some entries on some of the other accounts in this area. So I'll show that now. So this is the 127,000 account that you're seeing here. So these are the 2 entries that you see here, and I'll show you where those closed out. Sorry that I'm having you wait here. Okay, so there are the 2 trades, and you can see where they closed out. So it wasn't for a lot of pips. It was I think I ended up closing this one out at like 10 or so pips profit amongst the 2 trades. Just closed that one out because it's the end of the week, and I liked where some of the action that was happening. So if you guys look at the positions that were on the pound Canadian dollar, you'll see that they pushed down. So their push down here happened, and since these 2 pairs are a lot of times correlated, when that push was going down, you have the Euro Pound going on the upside. So they're counter correlated a lot of the time, but it's never a perfect correlation, which is exactly what I want. I don't want a perfect correlation here. And I want it to be slightly off, so not when one is in heavy drawdown, the other is in heavy drawdown. That's a rare thing to happen. When one is in drawdown, the other may be in slight drawdown or in small profit. but it hasn't been the case yet, at least in the last 10 months of using this, my strategy. I haven't seen really heavy drawdown on both yet. But anything can happen. All right, so that is the account, the Oanda account. I still don't have anything in my personal Oanda account yet. I still have that 10,000 in my personal bank account. I'm waiting to see what Maverick does. Now, so I'm going into Maverick now. Okay, so MaverickFX, you can see that I have nothing in my account right now, no trades in, and nothing pending, or anything that's involved, well, no trades that are in. So this VPS is a little bit sluggish because interactive brokerage software kind of takes a lot of power, or CPU power. And you can see that this account is 24,751. So this account kind of just is basically just trying to profit even a little bit, because even if I profit $1 this month from my high water mark, which was $24,074, that's where I needed to break, or I needed to profit just like $1 more than that. So if I'd profited $24,075, then that would have been considered a profitable month, and I would have been eligible for an upgrade to the next level. Now I don't want to keep going over that whole diagram of the levels that that happen at Maverick, but it's basically the first level is 10,000, the second level is 20,000, and the third level is 40,000. So right now I'm in the second level at Maverick at $24,751, and so the next level, since I've profited, and I've profited around $700, pretty close to that, about 685, that they should upgrade me to this account being about $44,000 or $45,000 total. So they should upgrade me an additional 20 by September 1st or 2nd. So things are going well with that. I'll probably even make a small withdrawal from this account since I'm eligible for that, and it won't be huge. It will probably be around $600, because they will take a fee off of the top. And at this level currently, they will take I think it's a 30% commission off the top of my profit. So since I've made about $700 profit, they will take 30% of that. So I only will come out with about $550 or $600 overall from MaverickFX, which is fine because it's still something to take away. And I am really pushing towards those higher levels, because that's when the big money will actually start coming in. At these lower levels with the $24,000, I'm not going to see a ton of profit from a 3 to 5% gain per month. So I need to wait for those higher levels. Once I get to the maximum level, which I believe is 6, my account should be roughly about $300,000 worth in value. Alright, so Maverick going well, no current open trades. I also had the 2 positions on the Euro Pound here that closed out, as you can see, and the Pound CAD as well. You can see where those closed out. Alright, so going very well, everything closed out on Maverick, and this account was a little bit different. As you guys remember, I had 3 positions on the LMFX account. So let's compare the two. Some of you may have differences here as well. So you see there's only 3 positions up here. So why did my Maverick account have so many more? Well, the thing is that my position at the start of the week closed a bit early. So these 2 positions closed earlier than my other accounts because there was a late entry on this Maverick account, causing me to actually get a better entry point, and my trades closed out earlier. So what happened there? Well, that means that this trade went in. This trade was an eligible entry, and if you look on the LMFX account, you'll see that that trade never actually took place or was never entered because of this basket. So this basket was currently already involved. When did that trade happen? With this inside candle setup. and I had my entry on my Maverick account right there, but after that inside candle, and because this basket was still in the market, this trade was not actually taken. And because that trade was taken, I'll show you now, going back and forth. This trade right there, it moved down, but it wasn't quite enough for me to actually exit and profit. It was about 50 pips. Now I was looking for 50 to 60 pips, and so my spread wasn't quite covered here, since I have about a 5 pip spread here on this at Oanda. So unfortunately, what happened? It bounced up and moved up and moved up, and so I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 entries on the pound CAD at that point. So not huge, which was interesting because it says that the max drawdown for today was 2.49%. So that was the most I had after 7 trade entries, and I also had 2 that you saw or pointed out on the euro pound as well. So that 2.49% was actually including the euro pound trade, the 2 euro pound trades. So I had 9 trades that were in, only giving me a 2.49% drawdown. All right, so not a huge drawdown considering how many open positions I had. All right, so this basket did give me a nice push down today, and we'll see if this area does end up holding. I said there were a few hints that showed that, but I wasn't convinced yet that this push down was done yet. So we'll have to see what happens there. And so I'm very happy that this closed out. And the reason why is because the idea was I needed to be above my high water mark, which I already mentioned was $24,074. If I was not above that high water mark this month, I might have needed to wait a whole entire month because my trades didn't close out before the end of the month. And that would have been very unfortunate. It would have been a lot of wasted time. Okay, so let's go into some community questions now and talk about what was being said. So a lot of people are still posting trades here. The other person that's been taking positions with me is also and showing them is Fat Kumo. So thank you for posting your trades. And I've responded to a few of these. And one of the questions was one of the users was getting involved in my system and saying, "Oh yeah, it's Fat Kumo." He was talking about it's difficult with the emotions, and he was considering, and he was referring to this trade. So this trade is a pretty big basket of trades here. I think he had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So he had about 7 trades as well, and he was getting a little bit concerned because the emotions were coming in. Because you're betting against a trend or a move that's going against you, and you're constantly entering more orders. Typically, that is looked at as a very bad thing to do in the market. But since my risk is so low each trade, I'm able to handle a type of movement like that. And the confidence will come, Fat Kumo and others that are trading this, when you understand the system more. When you understand that the pairs that we're trading behave in this way. At least they do now. That may change, and that could mean that my system may not be as profitable in the future if the behavior of these pairs start changing, which is very, very possible since the markets are always changing. But we pick these certain pairs that have a lot of this kind of action where it goes up, and down, and it's very rangy. So you see, like in his picture here, that if it's moving up like this, that there needs to be some pullbacks, places in the market where traders, probably mostly institutional, are really moving the market, where there are pullbacks, pullback here, small pullback here, big pullback here. And usually that's what we're trying to capture, are these places. Well, this pullback is actually a little bit larger. Places in the market where we have those pullbacks. Because I think that finding these pullbacks are easier to do than knowing how long this trend is going to go for. It's much easier to spot these at least for me, than it is to spot how this move on the upside. Because this move on the upside could have ended here. It could have ended here, but it decided that it wanted to end here. It could have ended anywhere pretty much. And it's so hard to know how far a trend is going. That's why I think that the word trend is so misleading. Because just because something is moving up doesn't mean that it's in a trend and that it's going to continue. The word trend means that something is going to continue, and it doesn't always continue. And so that's why I feel like that actual term in Forex is very misleading, but it's something that we use, unfortunately. So I gave Fat Kumo a couple of suggestions here. If you're feeling emotions, it's because you're new to the strategy, to the system or strategy, which is just your lack of experience with it. And knowing, because I've done a lot of testing with these pairs, knowing that they are going to behave in a certain type of way, and that's why we use this money management. But again, like I said before, it also is the system's weaknesses, because we're basing our system off of what has happened in the past. But if you look at any system that you've actually used or are currently using, it's also based on previous history. It doesn't matter if it's an indicator that was built for MetaTrader or if it's a certain strategy or expert advisor. All of them are based on certain events that have happened in the past, because that's all we can really go off of. So that is the idea that are you new to the system or strategy? And maybe if you do a little bit more visual back testing, or even testing with an expert advisor that you've done, or just using the system at lower risk until you get used to it, is a very good idea. And getting into that, are you using too much risk on each trade? That is something that it took me a long time to learn. Are you able to sleep at night? And the reason why I ask that is because if your risk is too high, you're not able to sleep at night. It's because your risk is too high. So you need to lower your risk so you can be more comfortable with how things are taking place on your account. And if you lower your risk and you're still not able to sleep at night, then lower your risk even more. And continue to do so until you feel comfortable. Do not trust the system or strategy yet. Yeah, that's pretty obvious. You're still new to it, and it falls into the first category, where the more that you use it, the more that you'll start to trust its profitability. So, getting into some of the other things or posts here. Some people were asking about closing out the EA, in a 50 pip profit. That can be a little difficult to do without a secondary or third-party piece of software. I use a Close All Expert Advisor. I have a custom one that I had built, but you can find some free ones online. I even had a post here that shows people where to go in finding something like what I'm using. It closes out all your trades at a specific dollar amount, or a pip amount, or a percentage as well. So there's some options out there for you to use that. Okay, so the last thing I wanted to go over before I end here was Eurobus's comment. He posted in response to Fat Kumo, don't put all your faith in, number one, don't put all your faith in a tiny inside bar and a one squiggly line indicator, especially against the trend. So that was, maybe I'll back up just a little bit. So his post here, I was a bit confused because I wasn't sure if it was a backhanded way or a sly way to try to bash what I'm trying to do. And now, since rereading it, I do believe that he's talking specifically to Fat Kumo here. But I mean, there are some truths to what he's saying. Don't put all your faith into what he's saying is just the rule base. You need to understand why these rules were put in place. You should always know why that you do the things that you do, because if you don't, then you won't fully be able to understand how to achieve your goals. So learn some price action. Yeah, that's key, and that's what I've been trying to teach. And I think that Steve has been helping a lot with that too on the thread. So thanks again, Steve, for posting your charts, because they do show certain price levels that that have had support and resistance. You do mention about hold numbers, which I have as well, because it's stuff I pick and choose what I want to post about, and putting charts on and marking them up takes a lot of time, and so I'm not too interested in doing that. So I'm glad that some of the community is helping with that. If anybody wants to know how to trade my system to pretty much to the pin, I think Steve has a pretty good hold on it. Now he's actually adding a few more things to it, by going with other candles, engulfing, or seeing how price is behaving with pin candles over a course of a support or resistance level or a hold number, and seeing how price reacts to it. It probably just goes with what Eurobus is talking about. Learn some price action. It just goes with knowledge of the market, and so that helps a lot. Yes, I do only go with an inside candle. It's because I'm going on history, back on previous history, knowing that the inside candle has shown a lot of success in the past, and also my expert advisor is programmed to only take that inside candle. And I do find it to be the most successful trigger for my system. But there are other ways to make to have success with this with very good discretion. So if you have good discretion or want good discretion, try to look and study Steve's charts, because I feel like they have a very good indication of where to go with this in reading price action and reading where the market wants to go. Or has potential to go. Cut your losses quickly. Let your winners run. You got out at the worst possible place. Look at the prices now, and how much profit you missed. So this is kind of a weird comment here, Eurobus. This actually goes a little bit against the system. And I know you're speaking again to Fat Kumo, but this idea is a problem that so many traders have, is that they get stuck on the idea of letting your profits ride and cutting your losses short. I know that's something that seems like the Bible in trading, but it's really not, and it holds us back, because we cut our losses short, and it's really difficult to let those profits run, because we don't know how long or when to cut them out, because we could have the same issue when you say, look where the price is now and how much big profit you missed. See, this is the problem. How big profit you missed. People or traders get in their heads that they missed out on this amount of profit because they closed their trades early or they closed their trades late. So why put that stress on you? Just close out your trade at a specific amount of profit, whether it's 50 pips, 60 pips, or 30 or 20. And be happy with that. Why can't we be happy as traders closing out at a specific amount and not be crying for missed profit? The reason why I think that crying over missed profit is a big mistake is because you have so many opportunities that will come across where you can profit more. So just because I'm cutting my profits at 50 or 60 pips, yeah, I could potentially be missing out on more profit in that basket of trades, but I'm not crying over it, because I know that there's going to be another opportunity where I can lock in another 50 to 60 pips. That's just my way of thinking. I think it's much safer to close out at a specific target amount than to try to use a trailing stop type of methodology. Excuse me, to work with your trades, because let's say that a trade goes 100 pips and you have a trailing stop of 50. If that trade went 100 pips and then it reverses right at that 100 pips and you have a trailing stop of 50, that means you're going to be coming out with 50 pips profit. Yeah, you could be happy with 50 pips profit, but you also just lost 50 pips as well because of using that trailing stop in that way. So I don't really see a huge benefit or a really big difference between the two. Honestly, I feel like it's safer to just lock in a certain amount because it's more controlled. And it's about having more control in the trading world, because honestly, so many of us are lacking a direction or control. Forget the above, it worked for you, so all you learned was to hang on in long enough and you'll be a winner. That is another issue that a lot of traders have, is they just hold on to their trades for hundreds, sometimes thousands of pips, hoping that they will reverse. Now, for example, this is Viper. Now, Viper was a trader at ForexSignals.com for quite a long time, and he was known for having very consistent results. But you can see here that he has that mentality of holding and praying, and he likes to he seems to think that he has a strategy involved in holding these positions that eventually they will turn back around. But the thing is that you can see that it's gotten too far away from him at this point. I have respect for the guy, honestly, but you gotta have a point where you give up on your trades, that you have to move on and say that, you know, there are better opportunities and I have to cut for loss. Now he's in a bit too deep, and he is in a huge problem where he is pretty much in 30% drawdown on his account at the current moment, and that just really hurts. And how are you planning to come out of there? Who knows if he even has enough margin? So you guys have to control your losses, control your trades. And if you just go on to MaverickFX book, you'll see that so many traders hold on to their positions for such a long time, and they just don't know when a good time to close out is. You have to try to figure that out. What makes sense with your strategy? What gives you the best opportunity to let your trades breathe and for them to hit profit, but not having too large of a loss where it's a substantial hit to your account. So make sure you have a stop loss or some kind of loss in place, because we can't win every single trade, and it's just not possible. So with that being said, I think that's pretty much all I wanted to cover on the thread here. Oh yeah, I did want to cover one more thing. Profit Farmer. If you want to look at another trader that I feel like has a really good sense of really good sense of realism in the trading world, check out Profit Farmer's thread, because he's got a lot of good stuff to say, and it's nice to see somebody that has a good mind for risk management and what is achievable in the market in a safe way. So realistic goals, I like how he has that, and thanks for commenting on my thread, Profit Farmer, and everybody for that matter. All right, guys. So this month is good. Things have gone well. Lower profit month at 3%. I'm happy with it, and it's no open trades at the moment. I don't think so. And we just look for September. Maybe I'll get an additional 20,000 to trade from Maverick, which would put my total managed and traded amount at around the 200,000 mark. So I'll keep you guys updated the start of next week to see how things played out with Maverick, and we'll go from there. So thanks again, guys, and happy July. Actually, no, it's August. So happy August. It's now done. All right, I'll see you later. Bye.